Alright, good morning. Welcome to Random Acts of Carving. Today we're going to be working on a unit for the back of the Jeep. We went camping, overlanding, whatever you want to call it, out west a couple weeks ago. And we had a big metal drawer system in the back, and it was heavy. And we got off-road, and the extra weight was just, it was making the tires rub on the fenders and stuff just because it was too heavy in the back. So we're going to try for losing some weight for our next trip, and the way we're going to do it is we're going to build a shelf system basically with pallets, old pallets, and some plastic boxes. So this is what I got going so far. It's just this shelf. You can kind of see it's got some legs on it there. It's going to hold a box. Going to hold a cooler. I'll hold two more of those boxes down underneath when it's in the Jeep, and then I'll have a little spot here either for another box. I'm going to build a wall up here, put a shelf across. I'm going to put my cooking stuff up here, and the little kitchen in the back. And so we're going to build this thing today. I'm going to put a little bit of it on video, get some clips of it, and then we're going to add a carving to it later on. So I just kind of putting this in there to show you where I'm going, and then we'll add something to it later on. So here we go. So I just put a little bit of the building of the box in here, using old pallets. So I was sanding off the rough side. Some of these boards were just regular boards on one side, already finished or sanded, I guess, just like a kiln dried board you'd buy at Home Depot, and then looked like they had run them through some sort of machine to rough cut them, apparently so stuff doesn't slide around on a pallet. But so I was just sanding. I took some 60 grit sandpaper and a belt sander and was sanding all the splinters off of it, but I was leaving a little enough of the roughness on there just to give it some texture. I drew up a little plan, just kind of a rough idea, and then measured it inside the Jeep there, see how it would fit. Started building. The metal box we had in there was really nice. Just was. It weighed 166 pounds, and by the time you add your camping gear and all that stuff in there, it was pretty heavy. Whenever I was done with this, I weighed it, and with everything, all the screws, all the boards, doors, and everything, ended up at 48 pounds. So we lost quite a bit out of there. And this one looks nicer with this. When I got it finished up, it really looked nice. I'm gluing this together and putting it together with some Craig brand screws and just regular drywall screws, depending on the application. It was a nice hot day when I was building this. It was probably about 95 degrees. Maybe 100 in the afternoon. I have my fan that I use for carving. It's right above that box. It's like a little ceiling fan up there that blows the dust down whenever I'm carving, but it also keeps it a little bit cooler in there. These little pieces I'm adding in the back here they'll act as a stiffener, obviously, for that shelf, but they also keep the boxes from sliding through, being able to slide through out the back or towards the front of the Jeep. If you hit your brakes, they'll keep everything in the box on the shelves. This is the first time I had built anything out of pallets, and I've seen some stuff built out of it, and I like the looks of it. It's a lot of work tearing them apart. Some of them come apart easier than others. You really got to watch for the nails and staples in them. You can get them apart without breaking them apart. That's some pretty nice wood. Building this box up on top, it really stiffened up this whole thing. It made it really strong. Here I'm just basically making a little tray for the black bag sitting beside me there on the table. It's our cook stove, and pots and pans are in there. And then this here is just a little box that holds 2 1-pound propane tanks for the cook stove. Alright, well, hopefully you can see me. So today, so we got the box for the back of the Jeep, just about built out of the pallets. Kind of show you here in the back of the Jeep. And I have this door that's going to go on here. It'll fold down, make a shelf on the back. So there's a big flat surface there, so I'm going to try to carve a little seam down here on the corner. Maybe put some other things over here. Not sure what yet. We got a couple ideas of making a little elk over here, and some mountains and a little stream down through. So we'll see how that goes. We're going to start with that and see how it looks. So here we go. Now we're moving on to carving. This was a neat little challenging piece for me. I don't do a lot of relief carvings. I've been doing a few now that I've been doing this channel, but every one of these is a little different, or a little bit. It's a new thing for me, and trying to figure out perspective and shading, and to make things look like they're 3D, but they're still just maybe 1/8 to 3/16 carved in, 1/4 inch in a couple places. Still is just a lot of perspective that doesn't come naturally. You have to take some practice, and so this is going outside of my comfort zone a little bit. So these are fun when I can do that. It's fun when you can do that and they come out decent. I went around there and just did an outline, just like I normally would with a lot of the carvings I do. Just not nearly as deep, and then basically round it all off. Try to find all the different muscle groups and make them bumps. Carving the antlers is a lot like carving an octopus. There's just lines going everywhere. You gotta figure out which ones are on top and which ones are on the background, and keep them separated in your mind while you're doing it. We did see a mama elk and a baby elk whenever we were out west camping. That was pretty cool seeing them. It was right at dusk, and they came down to a lake we were near, and we were pretty high up in the mountains, around 12,000 feet. Next morning, the mama elk actually came out across the lake from me and was standing there watching me make my coffee in the morning. That was pretty neat. I could sit there and watch her with the binoculars. I even put the camera on her for a few minutes. You don't see too many of those here in Florida, so it was neat to see one out in the wild. Like I said, I was carving a little bit gingerly here because I wasn't carving very deep, so anywhere I carved in deep, it was going to make it hard to fix. So I was trying not to make any deep mistakes. Just get everything roughed in, and just keep working it back till it got a nice look to it. Just like doing the octopus legs, like I said, it's just a lot of cleanup, a lot of smoothing out in between all these little antler prongs. This wood is just pine, but it's pretty dried, pretty hard. I missed a little spot there. I must have forgot to turn the camera on, carving those mountains out. And, the little river running down through there. Just going in and smoothing out my background around everything, and just trying to give it all the same textures, trying to keep that flame bit going the same direction all the way around it, so it gives it the same texture for the sky all the way around. And just kind of blending it into that backboard there a little bit. Those pine trees took a ridiculous amount of time to cut in around. Once I got them done, they looked really nice in there. And a little something extra on the other side of the picture. Happy little tree, if you will. Well, once I got it done, I took a wood burner, and I don't use a wood burner a lot, but every once in a while I get it out and do some highlights on some things. And this one needed some highlights to make stuff stand out a little bit. I needed to darken up the dark spots on my elk there. It wasn't this fast in real time. This is actually speeded up 6 times faster than what I was doing it. So. Yeah, it's starting to look like something now. I needed something on the other side of the door there, so I decided to move my compass star I had drawn on the other side. I erased it and moved it over here to this side and redrew it. And there we have it. Alright, well, we got the unit done for the back of the Jeep. we'll be able to pull these crates out, get into the floor space underneath it here. A lot easier. Before we had a metal drawer in here, and it bolted in, and we lost all the space underneath of this floor. So I built this unit so that we can use our plastic trays, plastic tubs, and we got our cook stove up here. I have a little propane storage up here for one pound propane bottles, and this adds an extra shelf. We can put more of these containers in here. We don't have them yet. We're going to get some to fit in here, and then our cook stove will go here. We'll have our little prep area here for food, and I think it's going to work out a lot better than what we had. So I'm excited about our next trip. It probably won't be for a while. We're out of vacation, but the refrigerator will be a lot easier to get into. It's a lot lower than it was with the metal shelves. It was up about 4 more inches, and it was really hard to get into it. But I think we can get into it now, and I think it's going to work out really cool. Did a nice carving for the front here. It turned out really nice, and that's all we got for this week. So if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.